And you're watching The Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. What's up?
Not much. How are you? I almost forgot we had a show today.
Holiday weekend.
I went into a deep depression because my other Facebook account got banned. I was like, what the hell?
No.
It's life, huh?
I hear it.
Are those guys out there yelling going to hurt the show or no? We're good?
I'm still trying to get the show. Oh, here we go.
Are you on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay.
We're all good and all set to go.
So,
Ain't really much to talk about, but I'm sure with the little we got
Lomachenko.
We can make last.
We got Lomachenko, and I'm wearing my Lomachenko shirt today.
It's very streets.
Everybody will say I'm racist for wearing a Lomachenko shirt, and it was favoritism, right? Is that good?
I know I wouldn't be able to see, though, because I don't have an Instagram.
I have Instagram.
Yeah, we ain't no hurry.
What's up, Jeff? How you doing? No, I don't know. There's so much. We have other stuff to jump into, though. The little bit of history of boxing thing we were talking about today, and what else we have?
Yeah, I didn't come up with
the Olympic team
names.
thing. The Olympic team that caused a stir.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty interesting. You know what's funny though is if you have a page, like we have a page, right? People think if you have a page and you put on there, you don't have the right to argue an opinion, that their opinions count.
The Olympic thing kind of goes with the pound for pound thing on my side of it, my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, the year they were boycotted, or the other countries, the 84 they couldn't compete. That makes a big difference in picking them as the greatest Olympic team of all time.
Yes.
Because a lot of the medaling countries did not compete.
Russia, Cuba, Germany, China.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the South America countries didn't compete. There's 14, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, there were stars on that team. Some of the greatest fighters ever on that team. But how good would they have done if you had Cuba and Russia?
And Russia, especially at that time.
And Cuba was just destroying people.
What's up, Jose?
It's hard to say, but I wasn't going to put them as the greatest Olympic team. I was 76. I would have said 88. 88 was monsters. 92 and
96.
But
2000 was phenomenal.
2000 was phenomenal.
Yeah, they all done it though in the pros.
I think 96 had a lot of stars come out of it. So did 88. Well, what do you have? You had Mercer, you had Rick Bowe, you had Michael Carbajal, you had Kennedy McKinney, Arthur
88.
Johnson, 88. Yeah. Roy Jones Jr.
I mean, you could actually say the 88 was probably
Al Cole,
one of the best of all time.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So if you're going on how their pro career, what they did in a pro career.
No, I was just going by how well they did in that.
But really on that, how they medaled in the Olympics is usually how you would go. But that's not even fair either because you don't know how the competition was that year for the other countries.
Well, there was none in 84.
No, I'm saying in 88.
Oh, 88. Yeah, well, Roy Jones got robbed.
Yeah.
Something awful in Korea.
But going on, and that kind of goes into, let's go into the Lomachenko thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, if people ask questions on that, we'll hop in and talk about it. But
all right.
A funny one was, I think you put a post up about Tank Davis.
That was Damon.
Or Damon, if he was ready or not. And the big argument is that they don't think that Gervonta Davis is ready yet.
When's he ever going to be ready then?
But it's okay, though, for Lomachenko to go in his second pro fight against a three-time world champion, or was it two-time world champion,
50 pro fights.
50 pro fights and fight 12 rounds, and then turn back around and beat. There's another one,
Gary
Russell, who on a lot of boxing pages I've been seeing out of nowhere, people are putting things up kind of like what we do. Who has the fastest hands in boxing ever? And Gary Russell, out of 600 comments, is probably in 580 of them as the fastest of all time or the fastest today. Mm-hmm. But Lomachenko beat him in his third pro fight.
Easily. Yeah.
And actually, my opinion, Lomachenko's hand speed was faster in that fight, or every bit as fast.
His timing was a hell of a lot better.
So it's just messed up. I mean, it's so one way, and it's obvious. Mm-hmm. And there was a post where a guy was arguing, and I actually hit him from the side with all the facts, and he came out, and the true colors came out, and he said why he didn't you know.
They said, James, I knew you got hacked. I did not get hacked. I got my original page got banned for 30 days for bullying. So if you guys see a new page on Facebook, it's actually me.
What's up, Steve?
Fucking bullying.
Yeah.
No, we counted the Solito loss, yes. Of course we did. But Kevin's watching. Ryan's about to share the best boxing groups. Boxing heads incoming. Oh, okay. Well, we'll check it out, Ryan. Dylan says, hey, guys, what's up? No, but, you know.
Hi, Sarah.
Paul said, good evening, gentlemen. I don't know. Want to get into that Lomachenko fight?
Yeah.
What'd you think? Well, first, before we say it, how did you score it? Because I had it 117, 110.
117, 110.
Did we talk about it prior?
No, not at all. It was the closest blowout I've ever seen.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight, absolutely. But Lomachenko controlled it. And again, everybody goes on. If he gets hit 3 times in a round, he's exposed. He's exposed. And everything else. I mean, give it a break. I'm not riding the jockstrap of Lomachenko.
I am.
By no means. I'm just calling it how it is. Like, you have to appreciate the fighters. Everybody judges these fights and has an opinion on a fighter based on their personal feeling towards the world and society.
Yeah.
Not the fighter himself. And it's getting irritating. I think I got like Crawford right now, pound for pound, number 1.
I do too.
Okay. I got Canelo could be up there.
I got Lomachenko too.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, but in the top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, and you won't hear me go put down one fighter. You won't hear me put down Canelo. You won't hear me put down Spence or Crawford. You're not going to hear me put down Lomachenko. Like, I'm going to be like, if I like him or not, I'm going to be like, they can fight.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing.
They do it. They will find a way to do it.
Nobody has done
I
it.
heard Lomachenko exposed. Exposed as what? Exposed as an amazing fighter that made it look easy still? You know, granted, let's Campbell fought a great fight. He used his range, he used his height, he used reach, he used everything that you want. He used it well. But you cannot win a round the last 30 seconds of a round. You don't win rounds that way.
You don't. And let's talk about, okay, Campbell supposedly wasn't all that good, right? Not what they're saying now. Like, oh, well, if he struggled with Kim, well, guess what Gervonta is going to do to him? First of all, Gervonta Davis is 3 inches.
Okay.
Gervonta Davis is 3 inches shorter than Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Campbell was a gold medalist. You don't win a gold medal on power, this, that. You win a gold medal on hand speed, technique, and scoring points.
If you try to run your amateur career on power, you're gonna have a rough amateur career because that shit don't work.
Michael Donner says, hey guys, I actually have a quick question about sparring. I'm a smaller guy, I walk around 135. I'm always having to spar bigger guys, which is fine. But how much weight is too big for me to spar? I say anything over 147. You shouldn't really spar 147 that much.
What's he weigh?
135.
Yeah, nothing over 47.
Yeah, I mean, so if you can't find it, then you got to leave and go somewhere else to another gym where you're going to be able to find. If somebody can't go out in that area and find you or have the connections to find you to sparring that you need, you got to go.
You know, there's a lot of guys out there. What that does is sparring those heavy guys like that. It wears on you. It wears in it. It don't get you ready for your fight. It just makes you tired for your next fight. People think 10 pounds is not a big deal, but when you're an inexperienced fighter and you're fighting a guy that's that much bigger, it hurts.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Damon? What's up, Caitlin? Darnell Boone's on.
Darnell, the champ. Luis, one of my good buddies, our buddy, Luis, I think one of the better riders out of the Philly area, said because those people are stupid. He's a beast. Ryan says, agreed, Kelly. Too many people with bias. Oh, of course.
They are. I mean, it's actually sickening. I mean, again, the other night, and I know it's just a one thing, but it was the first time that I really engaged in a post on there. Usually I bypass them.
You let me argue.
Yeah, or I'll put one thing and then I'm done with it. I don't care. I don't want to be bothered with it, but that was one that really caught my attention. Yeah. So I stayed on and I kept putting the facts. Yep. And then finally the guy goes, I don't care. I ain't going to sugarcoat it no more. He said, word for word. He goes, protection for complexion.
Complexion for, yeah. He made it clear exactly why he thought the way he did was because of his skin color. Yeah. That's why he didn't like Lomachenko.
But it's just not that. I mean, but it's what's a lot. I mean, it's just throughout boxing.
That's the dumbest reason to dislike a fighter is because they're a different color than you.
People do it with the Patriots because they win all the time, and it's like, okay, they win all. Even if they are cheating, they're making it to the playoffs every year. They're going to the Super Bowl every year. But everybody, for somebody that's good, they try to find something.
You know what? The only thing that I care about in boxing is can you fight? That's it.
Yeah.
If you're green, yellow, red, purple, black, white, whatever.
And
If you can you fight? That's it.
And it don't matter. Like I was telling the one guy, he's like, well, he should go back down to 130. I go, first of all, he already conquered that division.
Yeah.
So why does he have to go? There's better fights. Okay, so then if he goes down and fights Farmer and Gervonta Davis, now he's a weight bully.
Eddie, another good buddy out of Philly. You know Eddie. He said, does Loma beat Mikey, Kelly? I think that Mikey's a big guy, man.
I think now that's going on it where you're pushing the envelope. The same thing I said about Canelo fighting Kovalev and Canelo fighting Benavidez. I think now you're getting into a point where you're chewing off. Listen, you don't have to be an all. Oh, that was another one. He was a 3-weight division champ.
Yeah.
Lomachenko.
At 26.
And a guy was saying 4 or 5. I'm like, dude, 15 fights, 3 divisions. I mean, okay, 3 division champs, 15 fights. But there's just because you win 4 or 5, some fighters are built, their body can handle making that jump. Okay, and a lot of fighters can, and especially in the lower weight classes with your Manny Pacquiao's and your Floyd Mayweather's and those guys like that. Now for Canelo, jumping from junior middleweight to light heavyweight, and for a guy with the body frame of Lomachenko, no, I don't think he can, and I don't think he can compete with a guy like Mikey Garcia.
I will say one thing though. The longer
you can compete with him, but
the longer Mikey stays out, the worse it is for him right now.
I think so.
Because all Lomachenko is staying busy, busy. Right now, Mikey's been off. How many? 8-9 months now.
Yeah, but I mean, he's done it before though, and I understand he's older now.
He did it at 25, not 30. You know.
But I think with that size and fighting up as high as welterweight against a guy like Spence, and then and sparring those guys, now he's kind of acclimated to that 147 and 140.
Yes.
Okay, so him fighting Lomachenko at 135, even with that delay,
I don't think he can make 35 anymore.
I know that's what I mean, but and if Lomachenko goes up to 140 to fight him, Mikey's going to rehydrate big time, and it's going to be one of them walking down type fights.
50 again.
Yeah.
Ryan says you rise to the level of your competition if you're going to have the right fight of your life. You're going to train for it. That's why Pedraza looked different fighting Loma when he did Davis. I truly believe that. I can see that, Ryan. I can see what Ryan's saying. Yeah. Hey, I miss you too, Amanda. Amanda said she misses us.
Jose Alejandrez says, both fighters were awesome. I loved it. Kelly, people are hating fighters for companies they are with now. PBC versus DAZN, all that crap. It's true. I mean, and it's there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, it's just all over. And it's kind of hurting the sport a little bit, a lot. Emilio X says, hey guys, you said running your amateur on power is not good. Why? The scoring now is a 10-point must.
Your punches are still on the computerized scoring system.
Yeah, and amateur judges want to see the head bouncing back. They don't care about the hard knockout shots. They want to see points scored.
That's why they're still using white tips on the gloves.
White tip got to land.
It's still a different sport. If you rely on your power in the amateurs, you are not going to win as many fights as you can. You'll see a lot of guys that weren't big knockout punchers in the amateurs, but they get to the pros and they just put people away because they always had that power, but they focus on a different sport.
The big thing is hard, even from the amateurs with great records. That's another one. Not with Lomachenko being able to do that. A lot of fighters with that many fights cannot break that amateur mold.
No, and a lot of them can't. And and I tell people the difference between amateur boxing and pro boxing is like playing a softball league and going to play baseball. It's two different sports.
It is.
I mean, it's not the same. And maybe the punches are and the way you do things, but it's still different.
Yep, you can gather, you can pick up, you'll get some experience. Don't get me wrong.
You'll learn how to throw your punches correctly. That's it.
Well, once the 4 rounds is over and your ass is treading water in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 9th. And
you still don't know how to sit down on your shots?
Or the momentum changes. See, in the amateur fight, you got such short rounds that usually it's too quick for momentum to really change.
Yeah.
It may by a round, but usually by that point, the fight's over.
Yep.
As we're in pro boxing, usually sometimes you could be out there for 4 rounds having a field day like you can't miss, and all of a sudden it changes in a blink of an eye, and everything you're doing is not working no more, and this guy is in your ass. Then you got to go back to the corner, hope you have a good team, and you got to try to find another route, go to a new game plan. Yep. It's totally different.
Jason says tribalism is huge in boxing. Absolutely. Sakura said, "Oh, I see what he's saying. They think he gets extra hype and because he's white, as opposed to other complexion boxers, but it actually equals out because there are just as many that will dismiss Loma's talent because
complexion
of the
for
same reason.
protection.
Yep. What about Rice? What about getting shot born? Loma's starting to take punishment. I don't see the punishment he's taking when you're only landing 11% of your punches. That's not taking punishment.
The only punishment he's taking is in training. That's it.
He's being hit. He's being hit less than most guys fighting right now.
Absolutely, way less.
I saw 2 solid punches that Campbell hurt him with. That even everything else was pitter patter or missed.
Former gold medalist, contender, champion, great fighter. He's not allowed to hit you 2 times in a fight.
They're not allowed to hit you. Most hit you.
Or you're overrated.
Most world champions hit you 40 to 50%. Not 35 to 47%. But
fuck, I wish I got hit fucking.
Wouldn't that have been nice to fight
22 times?
Wouldn't that have been nice
in a round?
Wouldn't that have been nice to hold Jermaine Taylor and Miranda to 11%?
Yeah.
You know, you'd come out of there and you would have went bowling that night.
He only landed 2 good shots on me. What do you mean I got hit a lot?
He only snapped my head back twice.
I'd have been doing dances.
You would have gotten there and fought with somebody else after, you know what I mean?
But
Eddie says, personally, I'm in favor of having a pro style in the amateurs. Let that take you as far as it can.
Oh yeah, we got to tap on.
I don't know, Eddie. I don't know. He wants to take a pro style in the amateurs. What happened to those pro boxers that enter the Olympics and use their pro style? They were eliminated.
Yeah.
They were eliminated immediately. It's a different sport.
Yeah, that's you can't do the pro style in the amateurs either.
You can't.
I mean, because a pro's working on with an amateur, even in sparring, is they're going, all right, you little son of a bitch, you're pitter patting me right now for 3 rounds. Wait, we got 5, 6, 7, 8.
What was Floyd's biggest knock when he was in the amateur? Remember, Kelly? He has a pro style. They'd always say Floyd has a pro style.
Yeah.
And with a pro style, and Kelly can answer this more than me. I don't even want to jump over him on this at all. But on pro style, you hold your shots back a little bit. And you're looking for well-placed, better shots. You're not looking just to score. You're looking for shots that are meaningful. The amateurs don't do that. They just want to put leather on you and score points.
Yeah, you're setting up for the later portion.
I'll ask you, Kelly. Do you remember sparring you sparred high-level amateurs, I'm sure. Do you remember when you would spar with them, what would they do? 300, 400 punches at you,
yeah.
and none of it meant shit, right?
Because a lot of times they know they only had 3 rounds. Okay, I guess if anybody played baseball, it's like this. When you go up to bat, for most Major League Baseball hitters, they're looking at if the home run's there, they're going to take it. But most of the time they're setting up the count. They're trying to work a pitcher. If they know a pitcher struggles in a 2-2 count, they try to walk, they try to be conservative, and they go for hits. They may go to the opposite field.
Yes.
If there's a watermelon over the plate, they're taking it. They're going for the fence. Same in pro boxing. If the watermelon presents itself for a pro fighter, they're going to take it in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round if they see that opportunity. But for the most part, with a pro fighter compared to an amateur's in there trying to hit home runs every time.
Everything.
Which, or in other words, or a point, base hits. As where a pro fighter is setting up that count to drag that pitcher into something that he's uncomfortable with, and where they know they're going to get a good hit and make him wear his arm down and fatigue. And that's the same thing with the pros, with boxers. They're looking for that shot. They're setting you up. Again, if the opportunity presents itself, they're going to go for the knockout. But for the most part, they're looking for the long-term part.
You know, I was watching a video with you and David Benavidez sparring. And David was an amateur at the time, a national champion. When you were sparring him, people were like, oh, look at Benavidez. What Benavidez was doing was he was throwing hundreds of shots. Yeah. And you were weighting him down, and then you would catch him with solid shots, 2 or 3, and that's what people don't understand is when amateurs are in their sparring pros, we're working on getting conditioned. Pros are not working for that. Pros are working on a game plan. It's 2 different things. We're working on getting conditioned and just punching. And a good pro fighter, most pro fighters are working on their game plan. That's all sparring is.
Because our condition is going to come in at 3 days a week, 10 rounds, 12 rounds. That's in the running outside the ring. Damon says, what do you say? The fans not appreciate the fact that Campbell and Lomachenko are both Olympic gold medalists.
They don't. That doesn't matter to them.
It don't matter.
Jeff says people weren't giving Campbell the credit he deserved going into the fight. I think that's a lot of the reason you have a lot of what's the word? They're not big fans or fans of Lomachenko, and they didn't realize who Campbell was. I mean, if you would ask me a year ago who Luke Campbell was, I said that's the lead singer of 2 Live Crew, right? Fuck Martinez. Fuck Martinez. No. Russ says, can Kelly and Taylor run that fight back? One of the most exciting fights I've ever seen. Especially I had money on Kelly. Do you think Taylor could even get licensed again?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Michael Don Hughes says, what do you guys think of Callum Smith?
I like him. I like Callum Smith.
Fight.
I think he's one of the better fighters from over there from the UK. Sonny says, James, do you guys think the Salido fight made Loma a better fighter or helped him adjust quicker in the pros? What do you think, Kelly?
I think it got him the experience and changed it around. I mean, it was a game changer. Still a close fight, I think. And you know what? Not making no excuses. Come on. He got roughhoused in that fight, too. He was invited to the pro game a little too dirty, and it should have been points and maybe even a disqualification, but welcome to the pros. And that was a good introduction. I think it was way too early for him, but he did it. He made it a close fight. He got through it, and he showed that he could fight for another world title. It ain't like he went in there and got stopped in the 6th round because he was still in the amateur mode. He showed he could go 12 rounds against a veteran guy and make it a close fight.
I think anytime you fight any kind of adversity, it's going to make you a better fighter. I don't think of a reason why it wouldn't. Anytime you're fighting someone more experienced, even with the adversity, I mean, the dirty punches, it made him more aware of what's going on in the sport. Oh. So, yeah, of course, it's a learning experience.
It is. It's huge.
Eddie said, best UK fighter out, Callum Smith. I would agree with Eddie on that. Sonny said, I believe Campbell versus Tank would be great. I honestly don't think that Campbell would have the same success against Tank that he would have against Lomachenko. I think Tank's a bigger puncher, and I think and the way
you're talking about 130 to 135 and a really big height advantage.
But he walks right to you, and that's Tank's game, is when you walk right to him. That is his game. You know what I mean?
I think a size difference.
You don't think he could do well with that?
And I think that
I think Tank's amazing.
I think Campbell with that size. I mean, he got hand speed. He could fight.
Yeah.
He's not a lanky,
Pedraza's
slow
tall
guy.
Compared to Tank, he had no problem with him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Pedraza's Campbell. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think
if Tank catches him, but I think if Campbell was a naturally a little smaller guy, coming up, I would definitely say I still would pick Tank in that fight.
I just think Tank's on the up. I am sold on Tank. I've been sold on Tank for a while. People say he hasn't fought anybody. That's not Tank's fault.
No, he's knocking him out.
He's knocking him out. Just thoughts on Billy Joe Saunders. I'm not sold on Billy Joe Saunders, and I'm going to tell you why. He's trying so hard to be Sergio Martinez. He's trying so hard to be Roy Jones. He needs to be the best Billy Joe Saunders he could be, because he don't have a punch. He's always at a position to counter. And what do you think, Kelly? What do you think on Billy Joe Saunders?
I'm not sold on him yet. I don't think he's got anything that to do anything. I really don't. Talented right now, against who he's fighting. But let's see him. Let me see him fight somebody. Let me see him fight a Charlo or Andrade. Somebody like that. And then we could go from there.
My problem is, and we've talked about this, 100 times, Kelly. Defense is a 2-part process. Anybody that tells you any different, quit listening to them because they're stupid. When you're using your defense, it's not just slipping punches or ducking or blocking a shot. You need to be in position to counter the shot. That's the second part of defense. And what happens is, a lot of these guys, they slip the punch, but they're 3 feet out of the way. By the time the punch slips, what are you going to do then? You can't counter it. So it's a wasted movement. You look good slipping it, and you're out of position.
You want to make them pay for missing.
Right. And then you had guys like Roy Jones who'd make you miss, and he'd crack you, or James Toney, or even Paul Spadafora, even guys like that. They were always in position to hit you. Yep.
Sarah goes, how old is too old to start boxing?
It depends what you want to do. It depends on your goals.
I'd say anything over 16, though. Truly. I mean, I understand people have gotten into boxing late, and most of the time it's heavyweights that do it, but you're talking about a small percentage. Yeah. Evan goes, what are your thoughts on WBC president coming in and overturning the decision in the Martinez versus Edwards fight? I don't recall seeing that.
I didn't know anything about it, so it's new to me, guys. We've been pretty much out of the loop. We've been keeping up. Hey, Scott has a good question for you, Kelly. Scott Best, one of our buddies. No names, Kelly, but did you ever have any fights where you personally had bad feelings for the guy, or was it just business? He said you didn't have to give any names.
I don't.
Where you just wanted to beat him up.
I think Sigmund might have been one.
She just gave us
No, I don't care because I'm cool with him now. I'm close. I mean, Scott's a cool ass dude, but Scott knew what he did to get that fight. I mean, and I went into that fight wanting wanted to like punish him. I mean, I could have probably.
Was he talking shit?
Him. Oh man, that was when I was with Garcia too.
Oh yeah, you know Garcia was like mad too, right?
And, yeah, but I mean, me and him became actually. I went down.
Stayed at his house.
The only fighter, I went down to hang out with him and stayed at his house. And
Victoria says, "Thank you, James. Laura Special doesn't win. It doesn't win rounds, and the thing is, and that's something the amateur program. That's something when you don't adjust in the amateur program and the Cuban program, you slip punches, and the Cuban program never teaches you how to counter punches after you slip them, and that's something that's one of the Achilles heels of the Cuban fighters. If you guys ever go back and watch Cuban boxing, they slip punches, they look great, but what do they do next? You'll see it. You've seen it with Casamayor for years, and you've seen it with Bartholomew now. And you'll see it with name some of these other these Cubans that are around. Lara, they'll slip and they'll make you look good, but they don't make you pay.
They don't. Donahue says, "Who does Loma fight next?"
Somebody he needs to look good.
I say the winner. What was it? Comey Teofimo?
Comey Teofimo would be great.
I think that should be it. Pedraza is super underrated. He's a beast.
Anytime, Victoria. Thank you. So. Thank you for the question, brother.
Sarah wants to know, James, do you think Dad is too old to start boxing?
Dad is really too old to start boxing.
Mm-hmm.
He's 65 in November. I don't think you should box ever.
And then Emilio goes, how do I loosen up my traps and shoulders? I have a habit of tightening them up. I get tension headaches after sparring. I don't get clipped, and I get hit very little.
Breathing, breath control. What do you think?
For to loosen up the traps and shoulders.
Breathing.
Stretch, hang, and get a rubber band and hang from a rubber band.
And it's something, those things like that, those are some things that come with experience.
Yeah.
You'll get more experience.
I don't know
it becomes easier.
How much breathing for traps and shoulders. But
I would just remember breathing kind of made it relax a little bit, made everything slow down.
Well, slow down on the shoulder X. If you're lifting weights, slow down on the shoulders and working those out.
Oh, here's a good question for you, Kelly. Eddie says, what separates Robert Garcia as a trainer from other top guys such as Virgil Hunter, Freddie Roach? It seems Garcia is in a class of his own. What do you think?
I'll tell you right now. The other trainers you mentioned are really good trainers. I'm not knocking that. I mean, if I had a young kid and I didn't plan on training him, that would be who I would send him off to, any one of them guys. I think what separates Robert Garcia is that he takes the fighters and he lets them stick with their style. He don't try to change them. What he does is he tries to sharpen their style, and he does have good game plans, and he goes in and he knows the fight game, and he knows what a fighter is going through. Yeah. So does guys like McGirt and them too. But I think
bless you.
Some of the other trainers, they really try to get you in there and like we seen it with Gotti. Gotti spent a lot of his camps with Buddy.
Yeah.
Trying to become a boxer, and he's not, and as soon as he got hit,
he became what he was.
Yeah, and I think that if McGirt would have just trained him to say, you know what, screw it, this guy's a warrior, but let me work on his defense and the way he throws the punches and some of the combos and the placements of his feet, I think that would have helped more than trying to make Gotti a boxer.
Yeah.
Robert, when I went there, he took my style, and it was only 3 fights and a little lower comp. But we worked on things over and over repetitiously on like foot placement combos. And those 3 fights, I threw some better combos than I usually did. But I think that's what separates it. I mean, just taking that fighter's abilities and his tools that he does have and sharpening them and making them better that way.
I've known Robert for years. I grew up around him and things like that. And I can't talk for Robert as a trainer like that. I really never trained for Robert. I was familiar more with his father and some of the other trainers around that area. But I will say the one thing that maybe Kelly can agree with me, Robert has a different approach to camp that other trainers are. They're more relaxed. They're more laid back. It's more of a family environment. It's not a business environment. You'll see people in there, just people come in saying hi. You'll see family members come in and just hang out. It's really relaxed. And I know a lot of the fighters themselves, they enjoy it because it's not like work, because they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
But they're getting their work in. But that's first. But you'll see it. It's just it's a whole different vibe in the gym.
It is. It really is. Just totally different. And you're going in there when you're getting the sparring too. I mean, the stable is deep.
Dude, there is not a lot of gyms in this country where you can walk in and watch all the stars easily. Yep. Without all the other gyms are closed. You can walk right in.
Stay there 4 hours. You ain't ever want to go to a fight again.
As long as you don't really bother people and just hang out, And then afterward, you can do whatever, the autographs, pictures, but you can just hang out and watch sparring all day.
Yep. Lobster 11 goes, hey guys, Steve Z. Marquez one of the best to make you miss and to make you pay.
Exactly. Marquez is a master at it.
Yep. Robert did the great with Medina. He did. And then, hi, Kelly and James.
Hello.
Any training secrets you have learned over the years of your career that you might not hear too often? Oh, God.
As a trainer?
Blah,
Or
blah. I ain't seen him. Welcome back, Blah.
Well, as a trainer or a fighter?
Fighter.
You would know more than I would. You have some more secrets than I do.
I don't know. I can't.
You would have to be more specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to be more specific.
I mean, it's just a variety of things, and it depends on who you're fighting. And
I'll tell you one thing, guys. Though, as a trainer, I'll tell you what. If you're ever working as a cut man, the best secret I ever got was from Rudy Hernandez. And don't go out and buy an Inswell. You can use a silver dollar, or you can use an ice cream scooper.
anything metal.
Yeah, but the ice cream scooper is the same material as what an Inswell is. People go out and spend $50 on Inswell. Put an ice cream scooper in the ice, and the way it fits around that eye is perfect.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go out and spend money they don't need.
You can get an ice cream scooper.
That's so fucking awesome, an ice cream scooper on your eye. But hey, you'll see the Japanese do it a lot, and I really, that's something I learned. That's something I really learned, and I took to heart. You can always have a silver dollar on you too, and you can buy.
I carry one of those around everywhere I go.
But you might. I don't know.
I do. I got a silver dollar just in case I swallow.
Who has the best doo-doo body shot in history? Oh, who has the best body shot? Oh man, I was gonna say Mike McCallum, the body snatcher. Mickey Ward maybe, but Mike McCallum.
Mickey Ward's body shots will make you doo-doo.
James Toney hit you in the body. You got a first seat. You got a first.
Spence.
Oscar De La Hoya.
De La Hoya.
De La Hoya hit you in the body, and you get a front row seat with Jesus.
Yeah.
De La Hoya, Spence, Crawford. There's so many guys out there.
We get a lot of people watching on Instagram.
That's
but
good.
Not many questions.
Yeah, they're just nervous.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Zeta Carey joined.
Wesley asked Calvin Smith or Caleb Plant.
Who?
Calvin Smith or Caleb Plant? I don't know, man. I like Calvin Smith. I like Caleb. I think Caleb might be a little too slick.
Yeah, against him, yeah. Damon says, Burchelt versus Jason Sosa.
What's up, Breaker? How you doing, bro?
Just got signed. 6 defense for Burchelt. Hey, Sosa's a game fighter too, though.
Yeah, but I think he's game, but Burchelt maybe a little. I would have rather seen Jamel Herring and Burchelt. I'd rather see my homie Herring fight Burchelt, but Burchelt didn't want that smoke, did he?
I don't think so. I think Herring wins that one.
He would have boxed the shit out of him.
I think Geezer and people think.
Yeah, I think Jamel Herring's came into his own, really, as a 130 guy.
Okay, yeah, here we go. Damon, this is where I wanted to get into a little bit on the show today, too. And Damon's bringing it up.
Yeah.
With the, of course, we got to tap into the older fighters.
Very well.
And what was the other one?
Caterpillar legs, Bradley fighting Harry Greb.
And then he goes, guys, was Antonio Margarita ever legitimate?
Yes, he was fucking legitimate.
A fan on the page asked that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was that. It was the racist guy that asked that. He asked that about any Mexican or white fighter. George, racist as fuck. No, he wanted to know, Margarita, was he a legitimate fighter? Yes, he was legitimate. He got a good crack, and he threw lots of punches. He didn't fight Lobster Claw Daniels either.
Lobster Claw.
Well, we got to tell the story, right?
Yeah, let me get Nick's real quick. Nick goes, do you guys think it's a bad move for Canelo to go up to 175? Absolutely. For Kovalev.
Yeah.
And then drop back down to 160. I think the sudden gain and loss would be bad for him. That's not what's bad for him. Going to 175, period, and fighting a guy like Kovalev is bad for him.
What's up, Breaker? How you doing? Breaker has a good show, man. I really like his show a lot. You guys got to tune into his show. Eddie says, Sosa can pull that upset off. He's in a real good camp with Elite Sparring. That camp in Jersey is the best kept secret. I agree. I have no problem with Sosa. He's a nice guy. We saw him fight Lomachenko, right? Yeah. I'm not sure, though.
He's game. He's
It's
tough.
that power difference, man. That's the thing. Burchelt can crack, and Jason Sosa is not a defensive specialist by any means, And so, I don't know. I would like to see Sosa win the fight myself. I'd rather see Sosa beat Burchelt. I'm not a big Burchelt fan.
Jose.
Am I allowed to say that because I'm Mexican and Burchelt's Mexican, then I'm not a fan? Did I just get in trouble? Am I an Uncle Jose?
You're walking on eggshells.
I'm an Uncle Jose, ain't I?
Speaking of Jose Alessandra goes, Canelo got to stop golfing and start setting up a fight.
Hey.
Thanks, young Yoda. I appreciate that. He said, Kelly Pavlik is a legend.
What? Hey, Canelo's worth $365 million. He can do whatever he wants.
Margarito's chin was legitimate as it gets from blah, blah. And then Fat Lazy Cat Farrell. Ghost, did you ever spar those lightweights and welterweights for fun in Oxnard? And did they take your right hands okay? I did. Actually, I sparred...
Right?
No. Little white kid at 147 was fast. Unbelievable amateur. I think it was Mike something.
Was it Arredondo?
No, he was like a little fucking pest.
Was he the one from Detroit?
Might have been
the one that said he beat Mexicans up and they ran him out.
I don't know. Yeah, it was.
He was from Kronk, right?
This kid was.
He was a kid from Kronk.
Yeah, but he sparred everybody. He sparred Blanco. And Hakeem Ellis.
Yep, I knew who you're talking about.
But you know, he ran.
Did you work with Pelos before? No.
I was the only one. He ran, and it was I moved with him too.
Yeah.
I didn't go. Best boxer in UFC.
Oh, I was gonna say Nick Diaz. The Diaz brothers probably are the best boxers in the UFC. What do you think?
I was gonna say that dude that fought that I seen that fought Jackson.
It's about Stipe?
John, the kid that just fought
John Jones?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He got pretty good hands.
He has good hands, but I would say Nick and Nate are probably the best boxers, just on volume alone.
How about Herring versus winner of Pro Grace and versus Taylor?
Don't you dare put me on the spot, because Jamel's my homie. But I will say this. I love Jamel Herring a lot. I think he's an amazing fighter, and I think at any given night he has the potential to beat anybody. But you got to remember, Jamel's 130. He's not 140. These guys are 140. The size difference is huge. So right now he's a junior lightweight champion. So that fight's not even on the horizon. You might see Jamel and Tank before anything else.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But I heard Tank's moving up to 135.
Yeah, and so is Jamel eventually.
Yeah.
Jamel's a big kid. We saw him. He's every bit of 5'9".
That's big.
Yeah, I like Jamel. I honestly do. He's a fellow military guy and just a respectful guy, and I love him. But he likes my memes too. And if you like my memes, you're automatically my homie, right? You like my memes.
Everybody that's friends with you got like your memes.
I don't know. I only send the best ones.
You get 60 of them a day too.
I only send the best ones to you, Kelly, at night. I send them. What? What happened? Who did Lala?
Robbie Lauer.
Laura. Oh, Lawless. Robbie Lawler. Yeah, Robbie Lawler. Yeah, he did box, but you think he's better than the Diaz? Nate? Diego Sanchez could box too.
Yeah.
Ian McCall was a decent boxer.
Dirty Sanchez was a good boxer.
Yeah, Uncle Creepy. Who wins, Prograis versus Taylor? Prograis talking a lot of shit. Fighters that talk like that actually usually use. Prograis is from New Orleans. They all talk shit. I'm going to take Prograis over Taylor. I know you see it different, right, Kelly? With Taylor?
I don't know yet. I really don't. I got to go back and watch a little more on him before I make that pick.
You guys have...
Prograis is strong. I mean, you can't take that from him. I mean, he could change a fight in a second. It's hard to pick.
Esteban says, you guys have heard J-Rock 50-50? I don't. I'm afraid I don't know how Hurd has took this last loss the way he did. I think I got it more of a 70-30 leaning towards J-Rock right now.
Blah blah goes, after hearing you guys talking about Virgil Ortiz, I watched his fights and wow, extremely impressive. Do you see him contending with the upper echelon at welterweight next few years?
I love Virgil. He's a great kid. He's my favorite prospect. But right now, that welterweight division is so locked up. Next few years, yes. But that welterweight division is so locked up. I don't think we'll see Virgil out the welterweight division in the next few years. I think you're going to see him at 54, maybe 60. He's big and he's growing. He's 6 foot tall.
Yep. Damon goes Winky Wright versus Tito Trinidad at 154.
I would take Tito.
I got Winky Wright at 154.
I would take Tito.
I got Winky.
Mike Malachi Ben says Kerry Greb KOs everyone. Yep, Lobster Claw Smith. He sure does.
Young Yoda goes, Kelly, how your condition was always so good. 8 hours a day, my man.
8?
7 to 8 hours, absolutely.
Malachi says, saw your post, hilarious. Oh, the SpongeBob one?
Oh, yeah.
But No current fight middleweight could ever knock out Harry Grab.
Blah blah says Nick KO'd Robbie Lawler when he was 20.
Yeah.
And then Steve Z goes, do you guys know what happened to Sean O'Grady? I'm old enough to have watched him fight, and I really like his commentary.
He was a commentator on USA forever.
Yeah, he's a decent fighter, too.
Yeah, he was a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
IBF lightweight champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year, though?
That's in the 80s. It had to be the late 80s, early 90s, right?
So did he take it after Harry Arroyo?
Oh, yeah. He was after Harry, and I think he beat Vinny Pazienza or somebody for it.
Harry Arroyo had it in 83.
Yeah, no, this is way after. This is like 89, 90, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
This is like right about Troy Dorsey time when he had it, you know? Yeah, but they didn't fight in their primes. That's what he's talking about, Jude. They didn't fight in their prime, Trinidad and Wright.
I think Wiki Wright at 154 wins that fight. I think he's too big, and there's nothing that Tito wouldn't hurt him at 54.
I don't know. I think Trinidad. I would say Tito, maybe just because I love Tito. I don't know. Maybe it's not fair, but
I think it is a little biased.
I think so.
I think you're totally not seeing
the true picture.
Seeing the light.
Seeing the picture. Yeah, I can see that. He's not seeing the picture. Let's get into our. What time is it?
7:42.
Let's get into our Harry Grab. Why not the classic fighters?
And I agree with you guys. Real quick, last one before we get into it. Davis says, does Tank Davis have the Mike Tyson effect?
I do think so. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You know what he talks about the Mike Tyson effect is he knocks everybody out early, and people really don't know what he has yet because he's making early nights with people, and people are coming in the ring scared of Tank before they even get in there. So we're not going to know how good Tank is until somebody takes him to deeper water, and then we see how good Tank can really be.
Well, let's go into it.
Do you guys train fighters? You should leave the weights alone. I do and have trained. I have trained fighters. Yes, I've trained fighters in the UFC, and I've trained fighters. I've actually trained boxers too. Kelly's training now, right? So yeah, we both have. I've been lucky. I've had some great mentors. I've
had Jason Bailey as a mentor for me, which is why now I'm training Evander Marciano.
Oscar Trinidad.
Oscar De La Trinidad. and
Bernard Tony.
And Raul Pacquiao.
Bernard Tony.
Oh,
yeah. Evander Lewis.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we got
Evander Lewis.
No, I've been lucky.
And Evander Ali.
I've been lucky through my training. I've got to apprentice under Rudy Hernandez and Joe Goosen, and so I've been really lucky on be able to apprentice under some of the great trainers in the sport.
Okay, well, I guess we're not going to get to the thing real quick.
What happened?
Well, Ricardo says, what's your predictions on Josecito, Lopez, and John Molina?
I'm going to take John Molina over Josecito.
I think John Molina is strong too.
John Molina hits like a freaking heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of Campbell, Bronco, Carlos, Adames?
I like him. He hits hard. Adames is Robert's fighter. He's Robert's fighter from like Colombia or Dominican Republic. The dude can crack. But again, he hasn't fought anybody yet, so how do we really know?
Lobster 11 makes a good point. There are dudes with good hands. Yeah, Lobster Claw 11.
Harry Lobster Claw Lucy.
There are dudes with good hands in the MMA, but I find it hard to recognize how good a boxer they are, just because the two environments are so different.
I agree. But
Very true.
But the question was asked, a good boxer in MMA. I'm not, nowhere am I trying to say that they compete in the boxing world. I'm just saying they're pretty damn good for that world.
Yeah, and Usyk, no Usyk talk. His fight with Spong was announced today.
Yes, it was. In Chicago.
That's good to know.
The fight's October 12th in Chicago. Usyk's fighting, so we are probably going to be there.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
What was it again?
About the old timers.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just jumps on the old time and the Olympians. Well,
every post we put up. I have one with Sugar Ray Robinson that he would, who I think believed he fought at 147 for a while.
Yes, he was at
147. Yes. That he would absolutely destroy and wear down Roy Jones Jr., who ended up winning a world heavyweight title.
Yes.
Light heavyweight, super middleweight, and middleweight.
Yes.
And that it wouldn't be a fight, that Sugar Ray Robinson, because he fought 15 rounds in the 1940s, which most of his first 65 fights were against
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not. Sugar Ray Robinson is going to go down
Greatest.
as one of all time. I'm not arguing that, but don't cut the shit. Like, stop it. Guys are different. We said this before. They're bigger, faster, stronger. They fought 15 rounds because they trained for 15 rounds. Me or any other world champion today, or when I was fighting, if we trained for 15 rounds, we would have won 15 rounds. It's the same when you're starting at 6 rounds and you start training and you go to 8 and you go to 10 and you go to 12. It was 15.
You just train for more rounds.
So I don't care because he had 120 some fights. I don't
200, yeah.
make him go out and beat a guy like Roy Jones Jr. It's not a competitive fight. Roy Jones, with his skill, size, and power, and speed,
It's different.
would have probably have cleared Robinson in 8 rounds.
The thing is too, they get on this. Even Robinson, there's footage. There's footage of Robinson. You can see how good he really was. But you have these guys like Harry Greb, and nothing on Harry Greb. The dude's had 280 fights, whatever. But people are going off a 15-second clip of seeing him train. There is no footage of him ever fighting.
Make him look faster than he is.
Well, he never boxed. He was throwing like bowling pins around. I wish Justin could put that shit up. I wish you could put the Harry Greb training montage. Oh God, no! If we could put that up, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Harry Greb. He's doing this. The shit. Did you see him do the sparring with that guy? It looked. He looked like a moron.
But going on to all of it. I mean, you've mentioned with the Hagler thing.
And people lose their shit when you talk about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the comeback was from some dude who left the page because he got mad about it. He's like, "Well, records don't lie." I said, "Resumes don't lie." He said. I said, "Yes, they do. They absolutely do lie. A resume, because you fought 200 fights and 170 of those guys is Willie Caterpillar Arms Johnson, who was 6 wins and 122 losses, or Michael Crazy Legs Lewis. You know what I mean?" or Oscar Crazy Eyes Navarez,
Oscar Bear Claw Mendez.
You know what? I don't understand either. But there is no fight footage, and if there was, it's missing. That's the thing. They're not saying there's not, just missing. There's not. They even have footage of Jack Johnson and Stanley Ketchel fighting in 1910.
We're gonna hop right back on. I want to hit these questions real quick and comments, and then we're gonna go right back into this because it's great. Never in my life have I seen the amount of hate that Lomachenko get. I agree, Kevin. Lobster loving. Just my opinion, Roy Jones in his prime is probably one of the best of all time. I agree. Roy in his prime was something we never seen before. Both hands, stand-up cat-like reflexes. He always had a chin. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Torver has a good left hand. He KO'd a heavyweight with his left hand.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so no, it was all true. And listen, in 20 years from now, which will probably be 40 years from Roy Jones in his prime, there's going to be guys that are going to be better than Roy Jones.
We're seeing it now.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be guys get stronger, faster. The science, the technology, the supplements, the food, the dieting, the equipment, everything is advancing.
I hate to say it, but right now, guys like Lomachenko is that gatekeeper to that new generation of athlete. He's not the new generation athlete, but he's that gatekeeper for these new athletes that are coming through right now.
Who's that?
Lomachenko is that new gatekeeper for that new improved athlete that's coming now. And I think every generation's had that guy. Mm-hmm. I think Roy Jones was that generation that entered us in the 2000s, that Roy Jones. And then maybe the 90s was Oscar. He was that new athlete
I would say like Roy Jones was kind of like the 90s. Oscar was like the late 90s.
Well, Oscar turned pro in 92.
Yeah, but when he really was peaking. And then 94, he fought Chavez. So both of them. Yeah. Roy Jones, De La Hoya, that whole thing. But you see like how it's
evolving.
Yeah. And Lomachenko is going to be probably, and guys like Tank Davis, there's going to be them guys
that are just
2 times better in 20 years.
And and then you have these young fighters now. You have guys like Virgil Ortiz that he's doing things that prospects don't do. You have guys like Shakur that's doing things that young fighters aren't doing.
I mentioned with Ali, like I'm not going to get into this one, but I said about Lennox Lewis, everybody's like, he just outboxes him to death. Yep. Come on, guys. Like if Ali didn't have the Ali name, and everything was just a little different,
Yeah.
you would be like, dude, that'd be a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's because it's a historic, big name that did a lot, and he was very popular. That alone it has him beating up Superman.
Yep.
There are a couple. Kelly, tell us how much politics you witnessed through your career behind closed doors. Maybe something with no fans. There's a lot, dude. And I'm not gonna.
Dude, you'd be in here for months.
Yeah, and we're in the media now too, still trying to get credentialed to all these fights. So I'm just
we get credentialed for fights.
Well, we get credentialed.
Well, it could end. It could end any moment.
Yeah, if I really
go in on
one day, I will though. Don't worry about it.
Eddie said that guy for us will be Boots Enos. Well, when he fights somebody in the top 20, let me know.
When we get to Joe Rogan numbers, then we can do that.
But Eddie's real big on the Boots Enos. Eddie and so is Luis. I know these Philly guys, they're nuts about him. But all they have is sparring on the kid. He's 25 or something like that. He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. But to me, on these kind of fighters, the jury's out until you fight somebody in the top 20 or top 15, which he hasn't. And I understand it's management issues. It's different things like that. I understand. I'm not going to throw my hat in the ring on this kid yet until I see him fight me in the top 20 or top 15. Because right now he's nowhere near that.
Nick Polbosky says, science and technology have drastically changed fighters over the decades. I'm staring at a $5,000 piece of equipment right now.
Yeah, got the Harry Graham footage up.
$5,000 piece of equipment right now.
Hey guys, that's the goat. That's the fucking goat right there. Look at the goat, Kelly. Look at this. This is great. Look at this. This is some shadow boxing.
This is what we argue with every day.
This is what we argue with.
That's not him.
Yes, Harry Graham, yes. Look, Justin is the greatest producer. See, there is footage out there. 15 seconds. 30 seconds. This is his training. Look at that feedback. It's as big as the room.
When we talk about older players,
turn the music down. I can't hear. Look at Sparring, Kelly. This is the guy that they argue with that'll beat Roy Jones and you.
yeah.
Esteban said, "Don't you ever diss my pro fighter grandfather, Albert Lazy Eye Sagahi. Dude was 7 and 345, but always saw 2 opponents a ring when he wasn't there."
Oh, let me go into this, guys.
Grab looks like shit.
I got an app coming out September 15th.
The app.
This is a promo. The best app. If you do want to learn some boxing moves and tips, you got me, former 3-time world champion, Billy Lau, 2-time world challenger for the IBF belt.
Yes.
Not only that, you get great functional strength training videos and diet and nutrition. Guys, check out the Sweet Science Plus. The pictures there on the background.
Yes.
Along with Harry Graham.
The Sweet Science app. Look at it. He was kicking like a dead cockroach.
Oh, man.
Keon's dying, bro. And see, these are the dudes that go to bat. These are the dudes that go to bat for this guy and say he's the greatest fighter walking. Oh, man, Justin killed it with this shit.
It's not even, I mean, you just go, it's not him, it's just all the old fighters, like.
It's all of them fight like that. They fight like the leprechaun from Notre Dame.
No, like, nobody today would stand a chance against him.
No one.
And especially when you get an argument with people 50 and older.
Yeah, Esteban, get that app. It'll help you out, too, at home, because I know you're always studying and trying to learn things on your own. You don't have a lot of opportunities to get out, so check that app out. But look at him. He's doing his footwork. He's doing something. The guy.
Not lazy Fro goes, Ghost, was it easy to make fights if 2 fighters are down regardless of which promotion they are at? Or do they just use BS politics to duck? Fighters don't duck. It's 99% of the time, it's not the fighter.
Fighters aren't going to duck. It's
the promoter and
manager or matchmakers.
If you're down, if the promotional companies ain't seeing eye to eye, the fight's probably not going to be made.
These guys are athletes. They're competitors. They're not scared of each other. There is not a fighter hardly out there that's scared of anybody. If you're in this sport and you're scared, you're in the wrong sport.
You put 2 lions in front of the gladiators and let them loose, they're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
But if you have able to hold that lion back till you pick another lion that you wanted to fight as the promoter, that's the difference. I mean, you put us in the ring and you say go, we're going to go.
right, Eddie? This is him sparring. This is his training montage. And they're not going to, people are going to say, oh, it's just for the camera. No, when you're in front of the camera, you look better.
Defense could at Steve Z. Loma has a little better hand defense than Roy, though. I would love to see him in MMA because his vision and movement-based style.
Does he have a better? He doesn't have better hand. I think he has better angles, but I think Roy was hardest to hit. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, look, I think because Loma gives you more opportunity to hit him, though. Loma comes in. The way Loma, for as many times as Loma makes you miss, is what's impressive because he comes right into your chest.
He does, and you miss by inches on him.
Roy Jones was outside and kind of kept you at distance. As far as overall hand speed, I think Loma, with his footwork combined with his hand speed, makes him that dangerous. But if you go hand speed wise, I'd have to lean on Roy Jones Jr.
And the power that went with it.
Yeah, and the power. I definitely got to go with Roy Jones. Roy Jones could be 15 feet away from you and fire a lead left hook, and he was hitting you with it, and there was nothing you could do. You could see it coming from 15 feet away and still couldn't get your hands to your face fast enough.
I sparred with Roy. I will tell you that is absolutely true. I sparred with Roy Jones, and it's true. It's like fighting an octopus.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's two different styles, really. I mean, the way they fight. Loma's frustrating because he's in your chest and he's on the side and he's over here, and while all being right on you. You know what I mean? Like, he's not out of range. Roy Jones would make you miss and make you pay.
Darren says, do you think a lot of fighters give too much away before their fights about their game plans, interviews? I would think that you would want to keep everything as close to your chest as possible. What do you think, Kelly?
Yeah, I don't give all the game plans, though.
Do you think they talk too much, though?
I do.
Yeah. I couldn't really answer on that. That's more of a Kelly type question.
Like, shut up, go in there, take care of your business, and then move on to the next one.
Well, and then you see a lot of them, they record sparring. I think that's a total mistake when you record your sparring sessions, because your opponent and their trainer, if they're intelligent and they know what they're doing, they're watching that and they're looking for any little chinks in your armor, which you're giving away in sparring. Keon says, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting real sick of hearing Tank Davis will beat Loma when Tank shouldn't even be mentioned the same sentence as Loma until he beats somebody. He fought one credible opponent his whole career. Now all of a sudden he can beat Loma. Get the fuck out of here. Keon, I agree, but on the same token, I am really high on Tank. I think Tank does have an upside. I think Tank is a really good fighter, and I think he is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I
think he's fantastic. Right now, Loma's just a better fighter. He's had more experience, but
and he's bigger.
But I think Tank is going to be. I think Tank's going to be a multiple time world champion. I don't know. I'm a fan.
Lobster 11 goes, good point. I just noticed Roy Jones Jr. kept his hand low, his left hand low. Loma tend to keep a higher guard. He does.
But Roy can make, with his reflexes, it did not matter.
Yeah, and Roy kept at a distance where he definitely had enough time to see it coming, and Roy's reflexes was fast enough to make you miss.
Yeah, because I sparred Roy in 2002. I sparred at a good version of Roy. I didn't spar Roy at the end of his career. And I'm telling you, he might have been going 30%, but he was still, it was like fighting an octopus. I have pictures. I'm gonna post the punchline site.
Go ahead.
The one where both my eyes are swelled up after the sparring with Roy. There's me and Roy taking a picture, and he's smiling, and both my eyes are shut. Did you ever see those pictures?
Yeah.
Were my eyes shut?
Yeah.
They were red and swelled up, both eyes.
Look like a raccoon.
He raccoon. Me and Roy are taking a picture like this after sparring, and both my eyes were swelled shut.
Did he kick over your garbage can when he left your house?
He probably raped my wife too on the way out, man.
Yeah,
he beat the shit out of me, dude. He knocked the TV off the stand.
Blah blah goes, Kelly, how would you fight Loma? You go straight to the body on him. I mean, you got to go in and take the shots.
Outwork him.
Yeah, if you're gonna have to go roughhouse him, kind of like what Salido did. But
I think if you kept Lomachenko on his back feet, I think you would have an opportunity. And
listen, height, everything comes into play.
You would have to keep your feet on the outside his, so when he made that turn, you're already waiting for him when he made that turn. And I don't know why a lot of fighters don't do that, Kelly. Why aren't they?
Because he don't always go that way.
I know, but I don't know why they're still not even wanting to cut his. Even if he don't go that way, he has a spot where he likes to go to. He loves going to a certain direction.
And I'm going to tell you right now because I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Listen, that dude hits you with body shots that you don't see when you take those steps like that. You're going to be even easier to be hit to the body. Yeah. He hurts and takes. Same like with Floyd. Everybody used to go, why don't everybody just get on him and beat him?
Because you get hit, he counted the shit out of you.
As soon as you came in, he'd hit you with that uppercut, the little shots, and they hurt, and he'd hit you right in the snizzle. He hit you with a right hand over, loop one over, make your bell ring.
You're right.
And Lomachenko is the same thing. I mean, he fires body shots. He hurts everybody with them because they don't see him.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think, too, like, people talk about why don't they just pressure Canelo? Have you ever went up on the inside with that dude? That dude will hit you with a uppercut to the belly, one to the chin, and a left hook all with the same hand.
Yep. Fat Lazy goes, James, was Roy's hands the fastest hands you ever saw in the ring?
Yes, absolutely.
And Lobster Love says, Roy the Octopus Jones Jr.
But he wasn't the hardest puncher I've ever sparred. I sparred Terry Norris in 1994, and he was the hardest puncher I've ever sparred.
Me.
Well, I didn't spar you, Kelly, but I think by the time that you really came up, I think I was done.
I'd been the first person to punch you in the back of the teeth.
You wouldn't have been the first. You would just been the last. I'd have called it a career. I'd have called it a career. But I think Terry Norris was the hardest person I ever sparred, and I think the most skilled was Paul Spadafora.
I once killed 2 stones with 1 bird.
Would you agree with that? Paul Spadafora being the most skilled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up there.
People are gonna say, "What the fuck do you mean?" When you got in the ring with that dude, it was like, it wasn't fast. He wasn't fast. It was his timing was so good. You know what I mean? And he hit you all the time, and he didn't hit you hard. It was just enough to annoy you. Like, why is my nose bleeding? Why is my ears ringing?
Pepper shit on you. Ace Dog, I was watching Floyd versus Corrales. He would lead with the left uppercut and left hand.
Yes.
And the right cross consistently, others say. Yeah, and you know what? Roy Jones did that too with his lead left hook. When you're that fast with that check hook and that lead hook, you get away with that because the way they kept their hands, the way Roy and Mayweather keep their hands too, it was hard for people to judge that also. It made it hard because they would fire the uppercut jab or they would jab from the waist. And then sometimes they would hook around off that. Yeah. It was always hard to really pick up. I mean, you kind of had to be like a Medina, a Castillo, those type of fighters that came in with the high guard and they didn't faint. You know, if you're going to throw a jab at them, if you're going to throw a jab to their body or to their face, they were taking it and they were keeping the telephone to the ear. Yep. And that's how that, you know, that was the one way to really fight a guy like Roy Jones or Floyd Mayweather. I mean, hey, take the jabs to the body and to the face.
And I remember I was in camp. We were in camp with my daughter for Robert Garcia, and that was part of the game plan was to throw punches that were off timed because Robert Garcia, you know as well, he knew that style of defense, that Philly shell, and because Floyd doesn't throw just a Philly shell. He's not a Philly shell fighter. That's defensive successful, but he has that shoulder roll and the Philly shell together, which is a hybrid, and it's totally. He's the only one that does that right. No one else does. But Robert Garcia knew the Big G. He knew the way to beat that was throw punches that are off timed and looping punches. Because if you give Floyd any type of timing, he will have your timing and pattern down within minutes. Yeah. He's that smart and that far ahead of you. So they wanted to make that fight dirty. They wanted to push him back. They wanted you to put his elbow in your neck and make the fight as dirty as possible because they knew my daughter didn't have a big chance. But he made the best of that one fight because of the off timing. Yep. And he said the mosquitoes are biting when Kelly punches.
Lobster 11. Oh, how come the amateur program from ex-Soviet countries are putting out killers while the Cuban system can't cut in the pros?
That's easy, Kelly.
We tapped on that one. We tapped on
that.
Yeah.
You want to tell them? They don't adapt.
They don't, and I think it's not so much even the fighters. I think the fighters are trained, and there's such a strict amateur rule in Cuba, and the fighters follow that, and they never learn anything else other than that. And I think the trainers are limited to the A part of it. They're like great amateur trainers. Yes. And I think after that, when you, again, going into it, now you get into the pros, and you got the first 3 or 4 rounds, the Cubans look great, and then it's like, boom. They don't know what else to do after that, and they're stuck. And the trainers don't know what to teach them because the trainers never progressed or learned or advanced in training. So,
well, do you remember the Russians in the 70s and the 80s? Do you remember they were good, right? Yeah. But remember in the 90s they took that lull where they were doing really bad. What did the Russians do and the Germans do? They brought trainers from the outside in to start consulting and helping these other trainers out because they started adapting. By the 2000s, look what the Russians came out with now, and the Ukrainians and Germans. But the thing is, the Cubans don't do that. The Cubans stick with what's worked over and over. That's just the mentality that they have. They stuck with that. And Ghana, African fighters, they've done the same from Africa. They stick with the same old system. So you have trainers in Cuba and in Africa that are 80 years old, and they're still teaching the same shit.
Ghana, they like to use that. They got a stiff jab, and they like to come in with power shots.
They over-muscle you.
Yeah.
And that's how they've been taught. And they don't move their head. But the thing is this. You have guys, they're training the same way they were trained in 1952. And in Cuba, it was awesome. It was a game changer in the 60s and 70s and 80s. No. But after David Reed knocked out Alfredo Di Vergio in the '96 Olympics, things changed. And now people are saying, the American fighters are hip to them. If you can push a Cuban to deep water, you can break their spirit.
Yep.
And it's true.
It is.
A Cuban fighter,
they don't have any plans. They don't know what to do.
What'd you say during Rigondeaux Lomachenko, Kelly? You said it too. Rigondeaux does not have a B and C plan. He has A. And once you break A, you said it.
And against Loma out-bettered him, and he wasn't going to compete with Loma athletically.
No, but
it was so he was screwed from the get-go.
He never had a plan.
Yeah, he couldn't. There was nothing he could do. Like, he came out and he tried doing his boxing thing that worked against everybody else that he wiped out. Well, here you got a kid who has the feet and the hands and bigger, who is won more gold medals or
same,
same amount, but just who is just that fucking talented. And then when he got outgunned that way, there was no backup plan for Rigondeaux. There was like, okay, you know what? Well, I'm still going to use my speed, and I'm going to go to the body, this, that. There wasn't. So,
and to answer that question, you're not going to see Cuban boxing take a resurgence until some of these old trainers are out of the way and they start opening themselves up to learning new things. And I'm saying, what they're doing has been great, and there's nothing. And the Cubans are legends in the sport. If you look at the medal count, they beat everybody, but everybody's adapted except for like Venezuela, some parts of Africa, and Cuba. They have not adapted, and you're getting some of that in Puerto Rican fighters now. A lot of these old school fighters have not adapted, and now it's time when they're dying off or they're retiring. You're getting this new blood in the sport, and that's what's going to change boxing is when you get that new blood.
Or you get new coaches.
That's what I mean. New training, new trainers, new educate that's open to watching film because they didn't watch film.
Yeah, but all right, guys, we're gonna have to wrap up shop. Ghost, what type of boxing style did you dislike going against? Which type of style annoyed your style the most? I'd probably have to say something more along the line of Bernard. More of the high guard, hands up, Philly, kind of a Philly style. I think Floyd kind of
tweaked it.
Bernard tweaked it a little bit, but
they both did.
Yeah,
but and like you were saying, a lot of people think, oh, Floyd ran the Philly shell. Floyd will be the first to tell you it's not the Philly shell, like what Gypsy Joe Harris and Tyrone Everett were running back in the '60s and '70s, because that left you defensively susceptible because your head didn't move, just your shoulders. But he added that shoulder roll to it, which was a whole nother element that nobody ever seen. So he took two styles and made it one.
All right. Well,
what's up,
wrap
Robert?
it up. I want to give one more. Guys, go check out the Sweet Science Plus app. It's unbelievable. You get the boxing instructions from two guys that know it.
That's
probably one of the first apps that you really get like true fighters. Not only that, you get a great workout routine in between there, and you get a great diet and nutrition guide. Yeah. Check it out, and it's cheap.
Billy Lyle.
$20.
Billy Lyle fought everybody in the sport, didn't he? Chavez, Camacho.
He did.
He fought everybody.
Yuri Boy Campus.
And that dude could crack.
Duddy beat John Duddy.
John Duddy, yeah. So this guy is not. He's not
James Kirkland.
Yeah, we fought him in the amateurs. This guy's not a guy off the street. He's a guy he's not just some fucking guy you brought in.
Billy could fight. And I sparred Billy. No exaggeration, probably 1,400 rounds.
Eddie saying Bernard Hopkins overrated. I don't know about that, Eddie. I don't know about that, brother. On the same token, you have Enos Boots as a pound for pound great, and he hasn't even fought in the top 30, but you're calling Hopkins overrated?
Bootsy.
But Eddie says, wish you had sparked him. The thing is this, Hopkins came in the ring that night at 200 fucking pounds, man. 200. And that's not an excuse.
That's not even it.
For me, it's an excuse.
And that wasn't even it, though. I wish I was the only issue. But
he's fucking good.
Yeah, in his hands. And
do you think if you weren't sick, you were a hunter, you had 100-degree fever? I mean, it's written in the book in the
Thomas Hauser.
Thomas Hauser wrote the book on it, and he's a member of the BWA.
It's totally been a totally different fight.
He's not gonna lie. He's not gonna lie on the book. He saw you spitting green shit up and all. You can buy. What's the name of the book? The hurt something. Yeah, I have it.
We could put it on the page tonight.
Yeah,
guys, go on. We'll put it on the page tonight.
Read the book.
You can open that page up. You know what? You should post that page.
Yeah, I will. It's about Thomas Hauser. Thomas Hauser wrote the book. It has what's his name up? Yep. What's his name? The British kid on the cover.
Hatton.
Ricky Hatton on the page. But it has 2 chapters. A Kelly and Bernard fight. and it's broke down to every little detail as it went in the locker room. Great.
Yeah, we can put that up tonight.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
Steve Z says, I remember Lyle, solid dude. Yeah. So guys, get out, check the app out. I mean, it's a great app. I mean,
Sweet science.
believe me, I'm not just saying it. I'm obviously it's my app, but it's legit. And if it ain't, then you tell me which one's out that's better in it, and we'll tweak ours to be even better. No, September 15th is the release date for it too. It's going to be out on the Apple. We will soon, shortly after that, be going to the Android, but we're getting our feet wet with the Apple. You can get it at the Apple Store, App Store. So check it out.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yep.
But hey, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you Tuesday. If you have any questions, go to the Punchline page. We always have content up all the time, and please don't be a dick on the page, guys, because I hate getting rid of people on there for being dicks.
I'm nice to everybody on there, so mainly it's
just I'm getting blamed for it. You know what though? I won't even post it. I get blamed for it. It's not even me posting the shit. Sometimes I'll Jack fucking
James. Do you want to go count the ones that you did get in though?
Yeah. They're like, that fucking James don't know shit. I'm like, I didn't even post it. I was asleep.
Well, I do like what we're doing now. On my post, and Damon, he tries to make jokes about it, but I have some good posts. I put the little ghost symbol up.
See, and I don't put nothing, so they know it's mine. If there's nothing behind there.
And what does Damon put? A fist?
A fist, a boxing glove. Thank you, Jason. Hey, subscribe, like, and share the page.
Yes.
Go out and get the Sweet Science Box Nap September 15th.
Sweet Science Plus.
And
share and like and ring the bell.
Hey, and donate to Ella for pandas.
Absolutely.
Donate to Ella. This money's not for us. When you call Drake, it's for Ella. She has a disease, and there's a
young 14-year-old girl.
14-year-old girl, and she has a. You can go to GoFundMe too for Ella, right? For pandas.
Yeah. And everything we're asking is a couple dollars. You know, we're not asking for big donations and for you to go buy a $90 app and it's free to like our page and share and subscribe. It shouldn't cost you a penny.
Yep. And like I said,
thanks for always watching our show too.
You.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
And if you guys have any suggestions how to make it better, let us know, or any questions you want answered. Kelly answers a lot of the messengers himself.
Yep.
So tune in Tuesday at 7 because it's football season. So we're not on Sundays. It's Tuesday, and have a great week.